Today I'm going to show you how I make a really simple Instapot soy milk yogurt. It's really mostly for my oldest son. He is our savory guy and he absolutely loves the tanginess in this. I'm thrilled because it's just very easy to put together, and he loves actually making like a sour cream dip type thing for his potatoes, and he just loves it. So I'm going to show you how I make that today. So for this recipe, you do need an Instapot. I'm sure there are ways of making this without an Instapot, but that's the only way I know. And it's just so easy. And I use the Instapot for, like, I probably use my Instapots. I have 3 of them, by the way. I don't know, between minimally 3 times a day, but often like literally 9 or 10 times a day for all the various dishes and vegetables and whatever else I make. So this is how I get it done. Besides that, you need some kind of a mason jar that fits in the Instapot so that when you close the lid, it fits. And I'm going to I have water heating up right now because I'm just going to pour boiling water in it to sterilize it once more. And then you need a soy milk or some kind of a plant milk that has nothing in it but whatever is creating the milk and water. So for example, this brand, I think there's only a couple that are like this. It has literally organic soy milk, which is water, and organic soybeans. That's it. It can't apparently have any gums or anything like that in it, or it just literally, it won't work. It doesn't turn up. And then you can use all sorts of fancy things like yogurt starters and things like that, but I don't have that. I've never bought a plant-based yogurt before, so this is the first time I had experimented with this. And all I'm using is probiotic capsules. I use 3 of these. This is the only kind I've ever used. I have no idea if you need a certain, billion or whatever. I don't think so. I think what I read is you just need probiotic capsules. I use 3 of them for the amount I'm making. I make a pretty much full jar, and it has to be the kind where you can, crack open the capsule and you just dump it in. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, let my water boil, and I'm going to sterilize this, and then I'll show you how easy this is to put together. I can't even call it a legitimate recipe. Okay, so I just brought this pot of water to boil, and I'm literally just dumping this in. At least this is what I have learned works to sterilize the inside of it. And then I'm going to go get my oven mitts so I don't grab this super boiling hot thing, and just dump that out, and then it'll be sterilized and clean, and I'll make sure there's nothing that's going to contaminate this batch. Okay, so here's the complicated recipe. I was very intimidated by yogurt making or trying it. But I have to say, this is like brain dead easy. I will say also, I never have plant milk in the house ordinarily. We use water to cook everything pretty much. My kids don't drink plant milk. We don't eat typical cereals and stuff like that. So once I've used what I need for this, this yogurt, I'm going to make them overnight oats. And that is like the only time they ever have overnight oats. And I just literally did that because last time I didn't want this to go bad. And I said, I think I can make you something called overnight oats. And my kids enjoyed it. It was fine. So they'll have that for breakfast tomorrow. I'll use the rest of this. And then that's all we use plant milk for. It's expensive. And like, I don't know, we just drink water. So yeah, we don't bother with any of that fancy stuff. So I take 3 capsules. I dump them in first. I learned that after the first time that it's better to put them in first so that, the milk naturally kind of mixes together. So I just put 3 of those in. I did accidentally drop one of these in last time, and then I was worried because I was trying to get it out without contaminating it. But it turned out it was all good. So I did have a fail. The very first time I tried this, I did it with like a homemade plant milk that I just tried like throwing hemp seeds and water in my Vitamix. Very lazy. And it didn't work at all. I don't know what it was about it, or if I messed something up, maybe I did. But it didn't work. So that's why I bought the soy milk the last few times I tried this, and it worked fine. Okay, so I just did that. And then I'm just gonna give this a good shake. and fill this up pretty much to the top, like, you know, like here-ish, okay? And then apparently you don't want to stir this with metal. I don't know if that's legitimate or not, but last time I just had a straw that I stirred it with. I might even see if I can just kind of adjust the stream here as I'm pouring, that it basically gets mixed. I've heard it doesn't matter too much as long as the probiotics in there. So I'm just going to fill this right up. Okay. And like that. That's it. Now, watch how easy this is. So probiotics and a plain, you know, no extra ingredients, plant milk. Okay, here's the only other setting I ever use on my Instantpot beside pressure cook. After 10 years, this is the first time a couple months ago that I did this. You put this in here, okay? We put the lid on. It just barely fits with that tall mason jar. Close it as usual, all the way to the right. I put it to sealing, okay? By the way, I'm doing this in the evening because it is going to take 14.5 hours. That's the magic number, apparently. 14.5 hours. So I don't want it busy all day. I want to be able to take this out conveniently tomorrow morning. It's like 7:30 right now. So it'll be done, you know what, 10 o'clock tomorrow. And that'll work out just fine, right? I probably, if I wouldn't have been working tonight, I would have done it earlier. So it would be done kind of first thing in the morning, but that's okay. Now I hit yogurt. Okay, this is the only other function I use on my Instantpot. I ignore all these other buttons. With everything I do, the beans, the rice, the grains I make, I never, ever touch any of that stuff. I only use pressure cook usually, but in this case, I do use the yogurt setting because it apparently keeps it at the perfect temperature for the whole time. Mine is already set to 14 hours and 30 minutes. I think the default was something like 12, so it just already has memorized. It wants that. That's it, folks. So tomorrow at 10 a.m., I'll be back. I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so the yogurt's been cooking all night, and it finished just a couple minutes ago. So I'm going to open it up, and we'll cancel here, and we'll just see what we have. It's just a little warm, and you can see it's actually completely firmed up. Now, because of the probiotic, it's a funny color the probiotic was. And I found the last few times we get this little film on the top of like the leftover powder, sort of. I don't think it would be harmful. It just kind of looks disgusting and probably is a little concentrated. So I've just been skimming that off here. And there it is. That's it. So this is the texture, not crazy thick, but sort of very similar to like a sour cream yogurt. And my son likes this a lot. My oldest son, he likes dipping potatoes in it, putting on some of his vegetables even, and even sometimes like even a grain he's tried it on. He's always experimenting. So once this cools, I'll get him to show you how he makes a dip out of it, actually. I'm ready. Using onion and garlic. Yeah, we'll let it cool a little bit first. Okay. So Mylan is busy here making his first batch of a dip he likes to use. The yogurt has not been in the fridge yet, so it is a little runnier than it sometimes is, but he's going to get started. So he's just scooped some plain yogurt, whoa, oopsies, into this little Pyrex container. He tries to make little batches at a time because he dips it right in there. And so I have him finish one batch kind of like at a time, so it doesn't get contaminated, you know. He double dips for sure. So I think fresh would taste even better, but we don't have fresh dill right now. So he throws in some dill and he just eyeballs this. This is his own concoction. Well, not exactly. Although I did advise you a little bit, right? Because I said... No, you basically told me. Did I tell you? Yeah. Okay. But you make it yourself now, always, right? I find you don't even always need that. Oh, really? Just the dill? Yeah, I think, see, I think my mom used to make like a cucumber salad with a dressing similar to this, obviously, and it was like a dairy sour cream, but this is our sort of, it's very similar to a sour cream, this soy yogurt, how it turns out in the Instantpot. And it does, like I said, it thickens up a little bit in the fridge. I've heard people sometimes use thickeners and stuff like that, but we just keep it simple, it works fine. There you go. So just some dill, dried onion flakes, and then he loves dipping his leftover potatoes in this, almost like a potato salad. You gonna do a taste test?
First I have to warm these up.
Oh, okay.
A little while.
Okay. 25 seconds.
Yeah,
So have you enjoyed lately, like creating, I like that you're able to create sort of your own food sometimes now.
Yes, it's tough.
It's sort of, there's a lot more independence then, right?
Yeah,
You know
where
how
did
to,
the lid go for
oh,
this
it,
thing?
I'll get it later.
Okay.
I'll get it later. Okay.
Wait. Here it is, I found it.
Okay. So why don't you grab your potato, take a little taste test. Tell us what you think.
Good.
Okay, so that's our simple soy yogurt. Super easy in the Instantpot. Super inexpensive too compared to buying yogurt in the grocery store. And I have never seen a yogurt without lots of added stuff, a vegan yogurt. So I kind of like that this is just simple. Hope you found this helpful. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing and leaving a comment below if you have kids who also like to create concoctions in the kitchen.